Hey guys, welcome back to the Nerd Agenda. Today we will be doing a review of Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse.
Right, yeah, that one. Hi, I'm Jack, by the way.
Hi, I'm Levi. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, we're just some ethereal voices in the unknown. You don't know who we are.
Yeah, precisely.
Precisely. Uh,
So there's gonna be spoilers in this most likely. So if you
like
haven't watched
100%.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, go watch it. So today we will be doing two parts. It'll be the general review for people who haven't seen the movie, and the in-depth review for people who have seen the movie.
Right.
And the in-depth part will have spoilers.
Correct. I think. Well, yeah. Let's start with our expectations going in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna go first, Levi?
Yeah. So my expectations, honestly, I've been a little bit sick of Hollywood recently. I'm a little bit tired of all the new movies they've been cranking out. All like Disney, they just do the same movies over and over again.
I totally feel that.
I was not expecting much from this movie. I mean, of course, I was expecting the animation to be great, but I was expecting the story to maybe taper off a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Just become stupid.
Yeah. Sequels are never good. That stereotype.
Exactly.
Um.
Yeah. The expectations for me going into it. I just watched recently the first, Into the Spider-Verse, easily my favorite Marvel movie. I'm not a huge fan of live action movies in general, so I very much am biased towards animated movies being better. I just love animated movies way more, and that's why it's one of my favorite, easily my favorite Marvel movie. It's just got an amazing story, and amazing music, amazing animation. It looks great.
Yep.
So going into the sequel, I had really high expectations for it because I was like, they gotta keep going with the animation. They gotta keep the animation good. They're gonna have good music. They better. I mean, how many times have you heard "Sunflower" on the radio from the first one?
God.
So many times. It's a good song though. I mean, it's definitely overplayed, but it is good. And then I was also curious what the story would be because I mean, it kind of left us with a little bit of a cliffhanger at the very end of the first one.
But it did wrap it up pretty nicely.
It kind of wrapped it up for the most part. And so, I mean, obviously there were some questions, a couple of things, but realistically, that could have been a one-off movie. Sure, it would have left a couple of things like, oh, what the heck, why is Gwen there and stuff like that. But for the most part, it really could have just been its own movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So, good music, good animation, good story. I had high expectations for all of it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
So I guess we'll talk about just general thoughts then, really, or what we really liked about it, but without spoilers first.
Yeah. So, like you were saying, the music was very good in this movie.
It was really good, actually. My favorite song right now is the end credits song they got.
Yeah,
I've got that one playing every once in a while on my playlists and stuff. It's pretty good. I like it a lot.
Animation, again, phenomenal with the Spider-Verse style.
It's very, very
I think
good.
that it's going to be hard for a lot of animation studios to top it.
Dude,
because it's just so good.
It is out of this world.
It looks like it would take a lot of effort to actually keep it that consistently good.
You know what it reminds me of, actually? Have you been seeing a lot of that AI-generated art?
Oh, that's true.
That's what it reminds me of.
That's
a lot of the art styles in that kind of look like animated, or what was I saying? AI-generated art stuff. That's kind of what the first one reminds me of too. So they were doing it before the AI, or I don't know, maybe it's a 2018 movie, the first one. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think that was before a lot of the more popular AIs were developed.
Right. I think a lot of that popped off during and after COVID.
Yeah,
but I like how we just say COVID instead of 2020. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, that's what 2020 was.
Is a major world event, I guess. But anyways, yeah. That's I don't know.
The story. I personally thought the story was really good. Again, it had a kind of central theme, like how the last one was all about expectations. It kind of had the same vibe going.
Right. Yeah, I love the story too, honestly, and it was great. It definitely did set it up for a sequel, which will be coming out March of 2024. So I'm excited to go see that. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is the third one.
Yep.
I hope they keep it as a trilogy. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, and
Mhm.
so that'll kind of keep with the theme of Spider-Man trilogies, except for poor Andrew Garfield, poor guy.
Maybe he'll get one eventually. Maybe one day.
Maybe. I'm kind of weird, and I like Andrew Garfield. He's one of my favorite Spider-Men for sure.
I thought he was a good Spider-Man as well.
Yeah. Something interesting I thought about the titles. I guess I was just talking about this earlier, but they kind of remind me of the Tom Holland Spider-Man titles, where they're fairly similar with just like one or two words different. I don't know. That was kind of weird. Not weird, but just a similarity.
I don't think that the other Spider-Mans did that,
right?
Except for Tom Holland. So
yeah, because like was
Spider-Man 1, 2, 3.
Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and then the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then you
Yeah.
had Spider-Man like Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and then you got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely like the naming convention, although I do worry that a lot of people will get more confused,
Right.
like if they're trying to watch one movie and then they're like,
I kept
wait,
getting
I haven't
confused
seen this
too.
before.
Yeah, I kept getting confused actually between the first and the second Spider-Verse movies, because I was trying to say a while ago, I was talking about watching the first one. I was like, yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. They're like, that's the new one. And I was like, oh, wait, what's the old one called? And I had to look it up to figure it out. So,
yeah, definitely think it can be confusing, but I do like the way that it's named.
Right.
And it feels more like creative than just Spider-Man 1, 2, 3.
Right, correct. And then like the title for this one is fairly accurate. It did describe the movie decently well.
Yeah. So I think now we can get into the spoiler part. So if you haven't seen the movie, maybe go watch it and then you can listen to this. Or if you don't care about spoilers, continue.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna just go over some of our favorite parts, and then we could talk. I mean, if there's anything we didn't like, we can mention that too. But there's not a lot I didn't like about this movie. It was very good.
So what's your favorite part? Would you
My
say?
favorite part. Oh, that's hard to choose.
I know. Right?
I think my favorite part was when 2099 guy Miguel, right? He was explaining like the canon events and all that stuff, and then talking about Miles being the first anomaly, and like that part just like totally blew my mind, because I didn't even think about that from the first movie, seeing the spider glitch. I didn't even think about that being from a different universe. I was just like, oh, like that kind of like caught me off guard. I was like, hold on, wait, it really was, because I had just seen it a couple days before, and I was like, wait a minute, yeah, that's totally wow.
Yeah. Favorite parts. It's really difficult.
There's a lot.
I like the part around there as well. I really like the chase scene. I thought that it was just so fun to see all the different Spider-Mans.
That's
just
true.
Doing their own
thing. There was
thing,
a lot of very, very wildly different Spider-Man. I really liked the Spider-Horse guy. That was the cowboy. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, the T-Rex.
The T-Rex. That's right.
I like Peter Parked Car.
That one was pretty good too. Yeah.
Another favorite part of mine was whenever they had the whole Lego universe.
Right.
That was very funny. So for listeners, we're both pretty into Legos. I would say
100%. Yeah. We are huge Lego nerds. I guess you could say we're a-foles now because we're adults. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So I think that was really funny, and I love how he was like, he's one of our best Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute, he's a Lego dude. What? He's like as big as my finger, and like I heard on the that some 14-year-old kid made that.
Oh, that's really cool.
I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny that. Don't use me as a plausible source of information, or I guess concerning that. I'll definitely look that up before you say, "Oh my gosh, that's what happened." But that's what I heard.
Well, if it is that way, that's pretty cool.
I
really love it whenever big companies allow little creators a part in their big movie or big production.
Like that's pretty sweet, man.
Do we want to go on to say our least favorite parts? maybe.
I think, yeah, okay. So I think the only issue I had with the movie is just a little slow to start. The big like intro thing with Gwen, don't get me wrong, it was good. It was needed. We did need that little bit of backstory before it started really getting into the film to kind of introduce like the plot and the themes and sort of things like that, as well as kind of show us how Gwen got to where she is before she interrupts Miles, right, when he's grounded. Because like it's important stuff, but it kind of just like fell out of place. Like, why are we starting here? Why is this where we're starting?
Yeah, I felt like if they had started with Miles Morales instead, it would have worked a little bit better, flowed a little bit more, because it was like you came to watch Miles Morales and all the other people, not you came to watch all the other people and Miles Morales.
Correct. He's the star of the movie, right?
Which was interesting way to start for me, but I think overall it was good. But I think they could have maybe moved that segment a little bit somehow.
Right. Like, even if they just had a little 5-minute intro with Miles and then cut to that somehow, that probably would have made it a little... Maybe we're just forgetting that there was. Maybe there was something.
Yeah, maybe.
But that was a little... It was also a little long. Yeah. It was just a little long for an intro, and I was like, dang, are we like 30 minutes into this movie already? Speaking of length of the movie, actually. So it's a 2-hour-long movie, but it felt like it was so long. But like in a good way. In a good way. In a good way. Let me preface that, yeah. Because there was so much content in the movie, and like we just...
But it also didn't feel like too packed.
Right.
With like just constantly going. There was like good pauses, good pacing, I would say.
It was very story-rich, but like... the perfect amount, and so we felt like we were sitting there watching for like hours and hours, and then we realized it's only been 2 hours. Whoa. Like it felt like that was so much for 2 hours, but it was a good lot of stuff. And it was kind of funny actually, because we were just doing a quick recap before we recorded, and
it was a long recap. It was to be honest,
it was long, but also like kind of short too, because I was like, I feel like there was so much more to that movie, but it's because we kind of just went like scene by scene almost.
Which for like a 2-hour movie, how many points there were? It was a lot of points.
Right, there was a lot of different scenes.
Compacted, because we didn't even go through like all the scenes, how everything played out. We just did a basic rundown, and
I mean, we were talking for like 10 minutes. About what was going on. So, but like again, the movie felt longer, so I thought there was more to talk about. But because it's only 2 hours long, not like 10 hours or whatever, we were like, "Whoa, wait, isn't there more? Are we missing something?" That's how I felt, anyways. But yeah. So very story rich. You're gonna have a lot of fun watching this movie. I really enjoyed it.
So I would say my least favorite part was only due to myself probably, because while I was watching the movie, I noticed that they said specifically that you would get the DNA and then get brought back to the specific dimension that you were from. And I was like, wait, if he got the spider from Universe 42, wouldn't he go back to 42? So I kind of knew the whole time that was happening. And so it was like, watching it happen was a little bit like slow for me, I guess. Okay. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, when they were talking about the go home machine?
Yeah.
Okay, at the very beginning. Right, okay. Because he was bitten by a spider from Universe 42, if you don't remember. And so it ends up taking him there later when he goes to the go home machine, because they didn't give him a little fancy wristwatch.
Yep. So I would say that was the only part that I for myself ruined. but
right.
Other than that, the movie was so good.
Right. Oh yeah, it was easily one of my favorite Marvel movies. I would put it like up right next to Into the Spiderverse. Those two favorite Marvel movies ever. And I'm all marveled out. Honestly, there's been so much Marvel content.
Yeah, I'm marveled out too.
Like there's honestly been too much. I feel like they need to calm down. Personally, I'm not into like TV shows because I don't have a whole ton of time on my hands. Sitting down and watching a 2-hour movie for me is a lot easier than watching a bunch of 40-minute episodes of a TV show. Like even if it's like 7 episodes for one season, like 7 40-minute episodes is way longer. Don't get me wrong, you get a lot more content, but I feel like also in those they do a lot of filler content.
That's true.
Whereas in a movie, you can't have filler content because all you have is your 2.5 hours.
Well, Well, there are some movies that do have a lot of filler, and
That's fair.
let's be real, those are not the good movies.
Mhm. Can we also talk about really quick how movies have been getting longer?
Yeah,
Like
that's
way longer.
They used to only be like an hour and 30 minutes generally.
An hour
I
and
feel
30
like.
minutes. 2-hour movies were long, but ever since we had Avengers Endgame, that was like one of the first
I feel
3-hour
like
movies
even
ever.
just mostly like Marvel started really
Right.
taking off. Movies have started getting way longer.
Right. Movies have just been way longer in general. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people make very good use of that extra time. But it's
some not so much, but
right.
mostly.
But like going to the theaters now, I'm in there for so much longer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it's so late. And then I remember this was a 2.5 hour. I recently went to go watch John Wick 4 back when I guess it wasn't very recent when it came out in like I think it was April. And yeah, it was a 2.5 hour long movie, and I didn't even know. So I didn't get home until like 1 a.m. It was work night. That was kind of cool, great. But yeah, I was like, why was this so long? And then I remembered, yeah, it's a long movie.
Yeah. Speaking of other movies, I think that we should bring up what we were talking about like right after we watched the movie. How this was just they did a better thing than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
This was just a better Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, because with Multiverse of Madness, there were so many cool ideas that could have been shown, like as different dimensions.
Right,
that they went
correct.
To in the multiverse.
They just didn't expand on any of the cool ideas.
They went to the pizza ball one, and that's where they spent most of the time.
Right, correct. Yeah, see, it's been so long since I've seen that movie, but yeah, no, it was like it kind of was. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad movie. It had so much potential that was just wasted.
Yeah.
So that one, yeah, the Spiderverse took what they did wrong with Multiverse of Madness and made it better.
Yeah, it showed really cool different characters, not just like I'm evil Doctor Strange, I'm normal Doctor Strange, I'm Pizza Ball Doctor Strange,
right? No,
whatever. It showed like different characters that had like different circumstances. They were
right, but they were all still the same character.
Yeah, they were still the same.
You could tell they're the same character, but they all have their own different like quirks and stuff like that. One thing that did surprise me is they actually didn't visit very many universes across the Spider-Verse.
That's true.
They briefly showed other universes when talking about backstories and stuff like that, but I thought they would have visited more. But honestly,
well, I think why they didn't visit more is just because of the short time and they were packing the content into the movie.
Correct.
And yeah, they could have explored more, but I feel like if it was just all here's this universe, here's this universe,
it would have got a little boring,
and it kind of would have been like Doctor Strange, where they showed them, but they didn't spend time in them.
Yes, so I guess good thing they didn't visit so many. I was just surprised they didn't visit that many. I honestly
was a little surprised too.
Thought they would have visited more. I think they visited a total of like 3 different ones.
They had Gwen's, they had 42, they had Miguel's.
They had Mountbatten 4, and then they had the normal
Lego.
One. And then the Lego one. So they had like 6 of them.
Yeah, they had.
That's a lot more than I thought. Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I feel like they were a little short, which isn't a bad thing.
Right. Oh, that's definitely not a bad thing. Yeah, that's. I mean, it was really, really good. And can we also talk about how a lot of movies recently just haven't been good? Yeah, they've just been kind of. I feel like
a lot of kids' movies have been really good, and this, I would say, this is more kid movie than adult. I think it's kind of both.
What's it rated? I think it's rated PG-13.
Is it? Well, I guess there was swearing in it, so probably PG-13.
Let's see. It is rated. Oh, it's rated PG. Wow. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess it does have like just a couple of like bad words.
Yeah, I guess
it's not anything crazy. It's like the Bible swears. If that's what you guys call them, I don't know.
But yeah. So lately, kids movies been knocking it out of the park. Adult
for
movies, real. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I haven't seen that one yet.
But you will need to watch that.
I haven't seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy because I'm all Marveled out, but I might have to go watch them because I've heard good things.
Yes, I think that's probably one of the best Marvel series.
See, I'm more of a Star Wars guy myself personally, but Marvel's not bad.
Yeah.
I do want to watch a lot more DC movies. I've heard they're a lot more dark and gloomy compared to like
yeah.
Marvel, because Marvel is a lot more upbeat and like comedy, like comedic. But I mean, obviously they can have dark themes. Like, I mean, the whole idea of Endgame Infinity War was the bad guys win, good guys lose. And like that's kind of sad, and they can have their sad moments, but for the most part, they're like
it's all upbeat
jokes.
comedy. I think most Marvel movies are subcategoried as comedy.
Yeah, I would anyways if they aren't already. Whereas DC usually, I mean,
there's not a lot of comedy. I
think some of their newer ones have had more comedy. Like I guess this one isn't very new, but I watched Shazam recently. Like not the new one, the first one, and that one was decently comedic. Like it had some funny parts to it. I enjoyed it overall. But yeah, no, like I've watched the Dark Knight trilogy too.
Yeah.
Like just dark, sad, depressing, but also like action packed and badass. Like, bro.
Did you see the new Batman movie?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. Oh yeah, see, that's another 3-hour
that one
movie.
Is so good in my opinion. I think that they did Gotham way better than any other
you think so?
Batman series, because it's like dark and depressing, and the city streets, you can just see it's all dirty all the time. It looks like a city in distress, in my opinion.
Okay, I'll have to watch that one for sure then.
I also think it's good because they used a regular car instead of like a tank. It would be hard to.
That's right.
Hard to lose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch that one then. But yeah, again, kind of want to watch some of the DC ones. I have heard also that the quality of DC movies is just a little lower than Marvel movies. I don't know. That's just, I've heard that from Marvel fans, to be fair, so that's a little biased, but you never know.
Another great series I would recommend from DC is Peacemaker on HBO.
Okay.
It's so funny, like compared to other shows. It does comedy really well.
Okay.
So I would suggest that one.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah. Lots of fun movie talk. Yeah. Yes. Overall rating, I would give the new Spider-Man movie. I know we went off on a tangent there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the filler content too, just like all the other movies.
Yeah, filler content.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall rating, I would easily give this one like a 9.8 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, definitely.
Just that little beginning part was just a little long for me, but that's it. Like everything else is amazing.
I definitely think that it's one of the best, if not the best, Marvel movie out currently.
Oh, for sure. For sure, I agree. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And
hey guys,
you should go watch it.
Guess what? We just did before this episode. We made a Twitter.
Yeah, so if you want more content, please tweet us saying, give us more content. Something.
I don't know. Interact with us. We're gonna try and figure that out because we don't do a lot of social media.
That's true.
We're a couple of like little nerdy guys. So
yeah. If you have podcast episode ideas, tweet them at us.
Yeah,
probably private
DMs. We don't want anyone else to steal your guys' ideas. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Definitely, because we're not stealing your ideas.
Yeah.
No, if you guys do give us an idea and we use it, we'll credit it to you for sure.
Yes, we will definitely try, and we'll probably do like the first person to suggest it, so it's not like we have to credit everyone who did it.
Don't get us wrong. We have a lot of good ideas and we have lots of content planned. But if there's something you'd like to see or like our opinions on or something like that, totally ask for that. That could be really cool. But yeah, that's really all we've got for today. Thanks.
It's a little bit of a short episode.
Yeah,
but that's
compared
fine.
to the first one. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you so much.
If there's anyone listening to this right now,
probably not. It's fine.
We're just looking at our analytics and stuff like that. We got 2 viewers, and it's us too.
It's us. Yeah,
it's okay.
We're the viewers.
It's okay.
We're the not viewers, listeners.
Listeners. So it's okay. We're this is our second episode. Well,
yeah. We'll pick up steam.
Hopefully. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, guys. We do appreciate you, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. See ya.